Hey everybody, how you doing? I'm excited about this day. I know it's March here and everybody is ready for the new season. But there's one thing that is for sure, one thing that you can count on and you can take to the bank. The new season is coming. We're almost there. We're on our home stretch. And I want to say to you, that's not only for the weather outside. That's not only for what we see and feel as far as cold and warmth, but it's also in your own personal life. Whatever it is you're going through, whatever it is, whatever season you're in now, one thing you can count on, you can take to the bank, is life changes seasons. Whatever season you're going through, it will begin to change. Now, I want to encourage you to begin to believe for a good season, because this is what happens. What we begin to believe for, what we begin to really believe can happen for us. Dreaming, believing, having faith for the future, seeing things in a positive light, in a positive attitude. When we begin to think like that, here's what happens. Everything that happens in our life, negative and positive, happens to us all the time. But when we get a frame of mind where we begin to see things positively and we're looking for the positive, they stick out. It's almost like they become 3D to us. And all of a sudden, we start to see the little blessings in our life. We start to see the possibilities in our lives. We start to see that, hey, my life really can take on a form of goodness, a form of blessing, a form of favor. And the thing is all this is in our life already. But here's what tends to happen is we begin to think negatively and we allow life to bring us to a negative place where we aren't dreaming anymore. We're not thinking about our future no more. We're not believing for our lives anymore. And we begin to get in this rut and we're living this mediocre pattern, and this is just the way our lives are. And life can tend to bring us to a negative way of thinking if we're not conscious and if we're not trying to stay above and to stay living at a higher level. So we can become negative. And when we do that, the negative things stick out. And even though there's positive and negative going on in our life all the time, we begin to see the negative. So what I want to say to you today is I want you to go ahead and cleanse your thoughts. Cleanse the way that you think. Change the way that you think. If you find yourself in a negative pattern of thinking, I want you to begin to change that now. How do we change that? What do we do? Well, here's something that works for me. I grab a book that I know is inspiring. I go to a place where I know I'm going to hear a message that is going to encourage me, that is going to help me. You got to get your butt there, wherever that is. You get around a friend that you know is good for you. Get around somebody who you know is good for you. And another thing that I do is I begin to read books that will fill me up with truth. Because here's the thing, when you become negative, you're not living in truth. Sure, negativity's there, but we begin to think that everything's negative and our whole way of thinking becomes tainted. And that's not true. There's a lot of good news in life. There's a lot of wonderful people in life who go out every day and they're the answer to someone's prayer. They encourage people, they help people, and those people are there. And also a truth is that God really loves you. He loves you, He's in love with you, He cares about you, and we can come to a place sometimes where we're not seeing that and we're not believing it, or we're just not conscious of it, and we're living our lives as though we're alone. But we're not alone, and that is the truth. So I read something that reminds me of truth, that reminds me that I'm special to God, reminds me that He's there for me all the time, and reminds me of His favor and His love and care in my life. So He has that same favor, love, and care in your life. He desires to know you more. One thing that I read today in the Diamond Life, it's a book that by Pastor Tony Scott, a pastor of mine, he wrote, and it is a phenomenal book. And one thing he talks about is what happens when you begin to allow God into your life. When you begin to allow Him to enter into your life on an intimate level, intimacy. He says, say it this way, into me see. And we come to a place where we allow God to see the deepest parts of us, even though He can't anyway. But when it's conscious, something happens in our consciousness. We allow Him to see. And then once He does that, we realize how much He loves us anyway. And He begins to clear out the clutter, to clear out the junk that is beginning to stop us from living the life that we are able to live. Let me tell you something. Your future is filled with possibilities. You are able to change and mold and sculpt and shape your life. The avenues are out there. The things are out there for you to do it. So I want to encourage you to take this first step. And I ask that you just let God see your life. And wherever maybe you're going wrong, where you feel like you're going wrong, just simply tell Him, God, this is where I'm screwing up. And just say, I'm sorry, God, I don't want this in my life. None of us want things in our lives that we know is no good, that we know is hurting us and hurting our family, hurting our home, or hurting our future. We don't want that, but they become a part of us and a stronghold in our lives, and we got to get rid of that junk. And the way we get rid of that is we bring it to God. Only He has the ability to remove the things of the heart, to remove the past mistakes, to take them and cleanse you from them and remove them from you. And the only way that He can do that is if you allow Him to. So go to Him, say, "Into me, see, God. See the deeper parts of me. This is where I might have messed up. God, forgive me. Help me, Lord God. Help me in my life. Help me in my walk." So start there, and I promise you God's going to help you. And from that point, pick up a good book. Get rid of the clutter, the junk in your life that you know is no good. Shut the TV down. Turn the video game off. Get off that computer. Get off the phone. Stop the gossiping or the complaining. Get rid of the junk that's cluttering your life. And allow God to begin to speak to you. It'll free up room, and you begin to hear the voice of God. You begin to hear how much He loves you, how much He cares about you. So I love you very much. I hope this helps. God bless you. Have a great day. And spring is coming, not only in the natural, but also in your spiritual life. So look for it. Get ready for it. Expect it. I love you guys. God bless.